are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm your host, Wanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leeg.
And together we are
Raw
Break. How's every single one of you, family? Welcome to the NXT review. This is the follow-up show for what happened in NXT War Games. So we're going to be talking about everything that happened, especially there was a lot of rumors about Johnny Gargano leaving NXT, leaving WWE. What's next for Johnny Gargano? That was kind of the main topic of the show. And also, what's going to happen with Kyle O'Reilly and, all of this stuff with Braun Breaker, also with the Toxic Attraction. So overall, Paul, maybe a pretty decent show, you will say, or maybe there's little things that are good, but the rest is just bad.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just another episode of NXT 2.0 where some stuff on the show I'm really into. I like it. It's good. Other stuff, not so much.
Yes, exactly. So thank you so very much, family. Thank you for subscribing, for the comments that you give us, for the likes and everything. Don't forget to also check out, we're going to talk about the Fallout show. But, don't forget to focus on NXT TakeOver War Games 2021. A show that, had, Nadia Undisputed Era feature for the first time ever. 2 War Games matches and also, hair versus hair. A lot of, different action. For a lot of people, it was a decent show. For a lot of others, it doesn't feel NXT anymore. So, Paul, like you said, like you mentioned also, let's check this out for the family. So good stuff. Don't forget to follow us out on this. But now let's talk about the beginning of NXT, and that was a cage match. They started off pretty quick, pretty fired up. Kyle O'Reilly against Braun Breaker. Not Braun Breaker, Von Wagner. No, Von Wagner. And in this match, I thought that Kyle O'Reilly was going to get the win, but no. What did you think of this? Because we actually get to see a turning here, from babyface to heel.
Yeah, and I mean, we at the after the match at the pay-per-view at War Games, we actually was Wagner who turned on O'Reilly. I thought the way it was O'Reilly who turned on him, but Wagner attacked him first. O'Reilly just retaliated, and then we get this match. So okay, O'Reilly's the babyface going in, and I mean this was a fantastic match. O'Reilly can lead this guy. He can sell for him. He makes him look like $1 million. Takes power bombs into the cage walls, everything. This was really good. He hits his big knee drop. The crowd chanting, "That was 3, that was 3." At this point, I'm actually getting into it. I'm like, you know what? If this is the kind of, it made me feel like this was old NXT. It's cage match, everything. But then Wagner, you in the picture, the nut shot. He hits his finish. 1, 2, 3. He wins the match, and something that I thought was a little funny, maybe a little symbolic too. He had O'Reilly, he had him hanging up in the door, in the cage, but in the ropes, right at the door, and he's slamming the door. It's like, hey, this is your way out the door, asshole. That's how I took it.
It seems like it, yeah. That was the send-off for Kyle O'Reilly, and in the process, we would see Wagner turning heel. So it's good for both parts. I mean, O'Reilly, like you said, he's gonna be joining the Undisputed Era on AEW. It seems pretty likely. So at least, Wagner is gonna be heel now. So
and that's good because you could clearly see when this thing started, Braun Breaker is the #1 guy, way ahead of everyone else.
Yes.
But the next guy I would say is probably Von Wagner. Because he's huge, Vince likes him, he's a second-generation wrestler. So, okay, you turn him heel, what's the big matchup? Ciampa drops his belt to Braun Breaker. I'm going to say probably at New Year's Evil. Let's say he's probably going to drop it there.
Yeah.
So then, okay, Braun Breaker, babyface. Von Wagner's the perfect heel to build up. Both guys are green as hell. I don't think the match will be that good, but Vince is drooling over it, so.
And then also, the main thing, like you said, is they're trying to, give this push to these newer guys, so they're gonna have to do it. And like you said, it's a brand new.
And if this was O'Reilly's last match, it was a good match on NXT, and he put the guy over. I'm not saying
he did the job.
But that's what you're supposed to do on the way out, put the guy over. So
if it is his last match, dog, your handshake.
If it is, we just want to say, O'Reilly, thank you for everything in NXT, making it legit.
And we'll see you in the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see you with your buddies, exactly. So let's talk about Joe Gacy, he was talking about how he the loss of the Cruiserweight Championship match with Roderick Strong doesn't really matter because the message It was like what he wanted to do. And we're gonna see Harlan in action next week. So he keeps going with this character that he wants to get the whole world together, like provide union for all these guys, for like all humanity, mankind. So we're gonna see what happens, but at least this character is allowed to take losses, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who, if he goes up to the main roster with this gimmick, he is dead on arrival. He'll make Elias look like Ric Flair. I mean, this guy, just I can't believe they didn't change it on NXT. I don't think anybody cares. I don't care. Every segment he's in, he's a charisma vacuum. But it's not the kind of heat where it's, I want to see him get his ass kicked, but more, I don't want to see him on my TV.
Get out of my TV. Yeah. Get out of my TV. I agree with you. He's just weird, but like Harlan is the main thing. I think that we're going to get through Harlan, through Gazy, and he's going to have this as his first match. Because remember, everybody's been talking about this guy because they call him the next Brock Lesnar because he looks like him, like same physique, kind of same features, everything. We'll see what happens. We're going to finally see him in action. So, that was like the other segment that we have. And now Braun Breaker came out and he was just saying like what you predicted weeks ago. He's like, all right, you beat me, Halloween Havoc. I beat you, War Games. I won the third match for the NXT Championship. So I was thinking Tommaso Ciampa was going to come out, but no, they're going to delay that a little bit, a few more weeks. And actually, Diamond Mine came out, and also we got to see Malcolm Bivens just talking about how like LeBron, right? LeBron, Breaker, and all of that. He says that Roderick Strong has his eyes on like Breaker, and it is about where is he at? Where is he at? It's like, don't worry, Fally, don't worry. Like he's going to show up like next week. He wants a match with you because Roderick Strong is the champion of NXT 2.0. So I mean, this is just a way to delay the main feud with Tommaso Ciampa. That's how I can take it. And also, like Roderick Strong is going to lose. So I really don't like this at all.
Yeah, I don't like that at all unless you're going to see some kind of interference that causes something, or maybe Malcolm Bivens goes somehow screws over Roderick Strong by accident, something. If Roderick loses clean, that'll definitely hurt him, I feel, but, they're really pushing Breaker, and I don't mind it because I'm excited to see that match. Like I say, unfortunately, everybody's got to lose, in a match, both guys can't win, so somebody has to lose. I'm looking forward to the match. And I like, everything Breaker says, the crowd's behind him. They love this guy. Like Malcolm keeps talking. He's like, get to the point or I'm going to throw you, 5 rows into the seats here. And he's like, all right, and then he proposed the match. And he's like, if this is what it takes for me to get to Tommaso Ciampa, then I accept the challenge. And the crowd, like I said, they love it. They're behind this guy, and he's the one who has the charisma. He has the intensity, in promo and in the ring. So,
it's
I'm
good.
looking forward to it.
Everything that like we're waiting on the next, main guy, the top guy in the company, like Braun Breaker is the one that exceeds that, so that's good.
Yeah.
So then we got a match, with Diamond Mine with like George Briggs and Brooks Jensen with the Creed brothers. This was okay. Also, the Real Time veterans were right there. Also, one mentioning, we didn't say this that NXT TakeOver War Games, but Beth Phoenix is done as a commentary for NXT 2.0 because it seems like they're gonna add her in the feud with Edge and The Miz. And I don't know, she also said that she wants more family time. But this was okay. I don't know how you felt about the commentary, just Big Joseph. And
I was fine. We need more 2-man booths. And, Vic is a heel. Vic's a babyface. Wade Barrett's a heel. So that would have, it's good. Like, you had to get rid of one of the baby faces. And, Vic is a better, play-by-play, than Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix, yes.
And also, maybe she felt the same way. This isn't as legit, I'd rather be at home, with my family, and if she's doing this thing.
I actually think I like your path. I think that like she knows because I read a lot of reports that like the mood, the vibe, the environment doesn't feel the same anymore. So it's like, this is not for me. It's not Moro anymore. It's not Nigel. Like the guys.
Well, that would be like if you had a boss who hired you, like you are my people. This is my guys, and then your boss gets fired or sent away. And then you're like, you have new management, and you're like, oh, well, we have each other, but the bosses hate us, so, what the hell?
Exactly,
like,
so it's time to leave. So we'll see what happens with Beth Phoenix, but, Imperium was right there in the middle of this match with Jensen and Briggs going against, like, the Creed brothers, and in the end, actually, they get the win, even though the distraction for the Girls Jump veterans, so maybe this is the one team that, like, they're going to try to promote, they're going to try to push, and they're going to be able to challenge Imperium. So we'll see. Like you said, all these people, they feel green for me. So it's not that believable they will get championship matches. But what other way for them to improve, though?
Yeah, I really thought they were going to push. I really thought the Creed brothers were going to get the win here. But then as it's going on, and Imperium came out, I'm like, oh, well, shit, the tag team champions are a heel. You know, the Briggs and Jensen are babyface, so they're going to get the win. But I mean, I don't know. It's two teams that are relatively new. We've only seen them since the start at 2.0. And I really don't care too much about either team. A little bit more about, the Creed brothers, because Diamond Minded's a group, okay, stable. The other two guys, okay, they're rednecks, they like to fight. I don't know. I mean, the match, I'm not going to say it was awful, but do I really care about it?
When you have no investment, you don't care at all.
Yeah.
It's difficult to watch professional wrestling when there's no engagement. It's very difficult. But we do it for every single one.
And it felt like a Monday Night Raw segment. You had a team on commentary, then you had another team come out, so you had 4 teams involved in it's like.
Oh yeah, that would have been even worse. So let's talk about a little bit more on Wagner, because he just says that like his War Games, his new persona is started right now. So he's really confident. You can see his heel. Thank you, Kyle O'Reilly. Like we said, we mentioned that. Let's go now to like Doc Hudson, like of course Eminem looking like. He just comes out and he says that like, oh, he was able to fix his hair, like Cameron Grimes didn't do anything. He just, like he's ready to like keep moving on with his life. And then Cameron just challenged him to another match. This time it's going to be no holds barred. He accepts. I don't know how you feel about this poll, but for me, this is just boring. It's just like, I don't care for them.
No,
this feud should have been over right now.
The hair versus, it was pretty much like with Jericho and, the Pinnacle, where you have, the blow-off match starts the feud. The hair versus hair is supposed to be the blow-off match. That's supposed to be the last match. Then we see this match, that was like the first match. So again, they're working backwards. This is stupid. Again, Cameron Grimes, I like, but
but every week I like less and less.
Yeah, and Duke Hudson, I really don't care for. And you expect me to get involved in this feud to care about it? No, I want to see Cameron Grimes challenging people for gold. I don't want to see him feuding with this poker player.
He doesn't even do To the Moon anymore. So like for me, like they're really like killing like the stuff that was making him the superstar. Now you said Duke Hudson is okay, but why they have to keep fighting? You don't have anything for Cameron Grimes? I said that should be Carmelo Hayes. Heel North American champion. Cameron Grimes never won gold. Besides like that whatever crap with $1 million championship, so they do that. So of course they cut like this of the segments that they do now, Paul, because they want to be a little bit edgy. See Kat and Sarah, Kate and Carter going and like, oh, we have 2 tickets for a concert, and Jensen and Briggs they went. I don't understand those things. They have the thing with Kushida also, and the Briggs are better and they start fighting. I don't know. This is the
this is the point of the show where I don't even pay attention
when we check out when you should be eliminated. Also, this was okay though, and I'm not gonna hate on this, is because it's just like we got to see Waller like he's trying to get this girl, and if I'm not mistaken, Paul, this is one of the referees. This is Jessica Carr. I'm not confirming, but it looks like her. So like there he's trying to go out with her, but LA Knight takes the girl. That was legit. LA Knight at least.
Oh yeah. I mean, I pop for that because but yeah, again, Waller. We're gonna talk more about him later, but no, I like this with LA Knight. At least he's winning somewhere. It might not be in the ring.
That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly, like he won on something. So there you go, LA Knight. He might never be able to win a match or a championship. At least he gets the girl. So that's the girl. So let's talk about Carmelo Hayes going against Dexter Lumis. This was decent, but in the end, I don't know if the Dexter Lumis, like, there's no aura anymore. Dexter Lumis feels so bad after the wedding, and he tries to be weird, but again, he's a married man. How am I supposed to believe or think that a married man is like weird in those kind of ways? I don't know. This was alright. In the end, it's like a DQ. He tries to do the Hanakatame onto like Carmelo, onto Trick Williams. I don't know. I feel bad for like Dexter Lumis. Like he was so promising, but again, the new way or the new trend from like NXT 2.0 doesn't fit the cycle like path that he had, like the persona he had before.
As soon as you change somebody's music, it's over. No, but I mean Dexter Lumis, he completely lost. You might as well change his whole gimmick. You have somebody hit him on the back of the head with a frying pan and have him start talking. You know what I mean? Just completely change his whole gimmick because it's lost. And he was supposed to have a match against Trick Williams. I wish it was against Trick Williams, and I wish he would have beat Trick Williams in 4 or 5 minutes. Stared down, what's his name? Carmelo Hayes, thank you. Stared him down, and then been like, okay, build to this match. Build, if that's what you want, the North American Championship, a little mini feud here where Carmelo Hayes is going to go over, but you want to build this feud up, that's what you should have done. But they said Trick Williams had something with his eye. I think it was just bullshit, whatever. But then they had the match, and then he gets involved here at the end, so technically Loomis wins. But again, like you said, Loomis feels so lost. Carmelo Hayes and all this stuff. I mean, it's like have
Should be
actual
Cameron
legit
Graham. For me, it
feuds.
should be Cameron Graham. Should have been that. That's when you started the program this week. You know, like I remember, like Cameron Graham is like, well, okay, I beat you, I got the hair or whatever. Now I want gold. You know, because that's the one thing that like all wrestlers come here for gold. They didn't do that. Let's talk about MSK. There was weeks and weeks of like expectation about the shaman and everything, and like Jean Paul mentioned, says he told me maybe RVD, maybe you know a guy that is extremely legit, but it's Matt Riddle. And the only problem I have with that is like the Matt Riddle that I see on Monday Night Raw is not the same Matt Riddle that I saw on NXT or NXT 2.0 rather now. And I mean, the Jews references they're all legit. I'm not gonna hate on that. And what do you feel, Paul? Because you get to see two sides of Matt Riddle. Are they overexposure? You know, are they overusing Matt Riddle here, or I don't know.
No, I mean, what I would love to see is for them. I mean, not to be partnered with MSK, but that's how it looks like it's going to be. Would just be for them to drop the titles on Raw and he just come back here because, I mean, him and Randy Orton, some people liked it. I thought it was okay. We don't review Raw for a reason because there's no redeemable segments. That includes, you know, the RK Bros. So, I mean, I'd rather see him, you know, in an environment like this where I think he'll be over more. But no, I mean, MSK, like, see, when they actually, if you just cut the segment where it was just their serious promo and it wasn't like the goofy bullshit, this was okay. You know, when they said, oh, you know, we thought we'd have to climb and crawl, you know, our way to the top, but it was like, boom, it was in an instant. We won the Dusty Classic. We won the tag titles. We were on top of the world. We got knocked off. It's like, shit, now what? You know, we thought we'd still be climbing, but, you know, now we're back at the bottom. We don't know what to do. And Riddle, you know, in his Riddle way, you know, pretty much told them, like, he's going to help him out. You know, they'll get back to the top. And he's like, but I just have one question. You know, what's in the bag? And they open it up, and he's like, oh, hell yeah. They're all like,
let's see this face.
That was funny. But, I mean, again, you know, the stuff it's just so cringy. It's just.
So are we going to see Matt Riddle on both shows then? It seems to me that, like, because he said he's
going to tag along with him. So we got to see.
Like you said, it's going to be two different versions because Matt Riddle on Monday Night Raw is more goofy. You know, it's not what it was on like NXT. Remember with Pete Dunne and all of that, and you know, like the
Italian Pete, yep,
or like pod references for the ones that don't understand the juice code. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I would much rather maybe see Rob Van Dam. A lot of people say Rob Van Dam just because he was on the Impact too. So they had like that.
And also RVD's a little older for somebody to be like a shaman. You think they're like an older guy.
You need somebody more traditional. Like Matt Riddle, like. I mean, RVD also knows about Jews, so, you know, it would have been a lot easier. And maybe have, like, you know, like his stuff. It would have been a lot better. But let's talk about, you know, Indy Hartwell and Berja Perota. Like, this is just because, like, Berja wants the tag titles. And you can see that, like, the dissension is right here. And we're going to see maybe a feud between the two because it says, hey, you're being focused on your wedding, Dexter, all of that. Are you going to be focused on the team? She says, yeah, I'm 100% in. As soon as Johnny Gargano shows up, and she gets pushed to the side. So, like, I can really see that there's going to be a feud between the two here in the weeks to come. So, we'll see what happens on that. But now, Paul, you know, let's talk about this. Toxic Attraction, I want your thoughts on this match because they fought Valentina Perez, you know, just enhancement talent. Do they look like a tag team for you, Gigi Dolan and Jesse? You know, they look like, to me, it seemed like two singles wrestlers. I didn't like the match too much. I didn't care for it too much. I mean, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, the match, you know, it's hard to get into when you see them, okay, going against job guys, you know, nothing's going to come from it. I mean, they're not bad wrestlers, but they're not tag team wrestlers. No, they are definitely two singles competitors put in a tag team. Because, okay, we're not really doing anything with these, you know, women, you know, okay, they're hot, what should we do with them? Oh, we'll put them with Mandy Rose, okay, you know, they came up with this, and this is their thing, okay, you have the tag team, and then you have the leader, the singles competitor. And that's what it is. But no, they're not a tag team. They're not like, oh yeah, you know, here's, you know, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, or, you know, a tag team like that. They have the chemistry, you know, it's not like the Hardy Boys. You don't have that chemistry, you know, but I mean, Mandy Rose, you know, she cut the good promo, but unfortunately, you know, she kind of sometimes stumbles over herself with things that she says, where it's like, oh, you know, nobody's on my level, blah, blah, blah. But then, you know, Io Shirai, all these people, Corey Jade, you're all bullshit. You don't deserve a shot against me. But whoever wants to challenge me, come out. It's like, well, then which one is it? So, but I mean, Mandy Rose, it's just, she's good. But then when you look at, you know, oh, well, she lost to Cora Jade in a match, and then she got pinned by Cora Jade in the in War Games, and it's like, oh, it's the Monday Night Raw booking that really kills a champion that doesn't make
Yes.
him seem credible.
And
You
also,
never saw
like,
Rhea Ripley or Shayna Baszler or Raquel or any of them just get pinned.
they will never
No.
lose. And Mandy is like, because in
Yeah.
the end, deep down, that she's maybe not that great. They gave her the opportunity. She's running with it. And I don't think that she's terrible, like you said, but like 2 losses and everything. Even Cora Jade shows up. She's like, oh, maybe I just deserve a title match with you. All of that because it's just like, oh, like I pinned you, like I said, like last week. And now I pinned you in War Games. So like he was going to come and like attack all the members of Toxic Attraction. Raquel came out to like save the house. I mean, like you said, this was going to be different, and we were waiting for somebody else to come and help out. So we'll see what they do. And then they had like a promo. He's like, hey, like you're way ahead of yourself, girl. Raquel wants the opportunity first. We'll see what happens. Paul also, like Kaylee Ray was right there. It's like, the 3 of us might be friends right now, but later one of us is going to have to be challenging Mandy. So we'll see who it is. I would much rather see Kaylee Ray. Cora Jade will be okay if Mandy retains. But if Kaylee Ray goes against Mandy, hopefully Kaylee Ray gets the championship, and then she turns heel, and then we go back to usual Kaylee Ray. But that's what we have.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can't, because if you're going to put the belt on Braun Breaker, you can't also put it on Cora Jade. You got to have somebody who's at least a little bit of a veteran, knows what's going on here. Kaylee Ray would be great, but I don't see him doing that. To me, that's not their thing. It's like Mandy Rose is the sex appeal, and you're kind of going to keep it on that track a little bit. You have these other women like the Io Shirai's and Kaylee Ray's and all the other women, and who Vince in their eyes, okay, they're not blonde or they're not, a cute little white girl or whatever, then they get pushed to the side. But those talented women, I think, will get, people over and still put on good matches. But in Vince McMahon's vision of NXT, I don't see them become a champion.
No, you're right. I agree with you. So, like, let's talk Tony D'Angelo had, like, the mouthpiece from, like, Pete Dunne. And also, like, he's just talking about how, like, he got a good performance in War Games. And he goes from that to a match with Andrew Chase. This is just terrible for both guys. Not for the one, just for both. Because Andrew Chase is just, like, is one of the guys that should be cut from the get-go. Not because he's probably not a bad wrestler, but, like, the gimmick that he was given to is absolutely shit. And if you give me that, I'm not going to be able to produce really good work.
Yeah, I would say I would say cut whoever gave him the gimmick. Whoever came up with that gimmick and said you're going to wrestle in the sweater vest or the sweater and the dress shirt and all that, they should be fired as well. But no, this was just shit. I mean, it's, again, 2 guys nobody cares about. It's not like D'Angelo's over. Not like the crowd goes crazy for him. You know what I mean? And then nobody cares about Andre Chase. He is the same thing, like, get off my TV heat. Nobody cares.
Yes, exactly. A lot of guys have that, and we don't even know them a lot. So there you go. So let's go now with, like, Santos Escobar with Zion Quinn. This match was okay, decent. The one thing, again, like, we go from Santos Escobar Pro to, like, be like the main guy, the leader of the Legado del Fantasma. He didn't need to fight so many matches. Now he's going in dispute with a guy that, like, for storyline purposes, they're not in the same level, and it's more now because Elektra Lopez has something to do with Zaya Quinn, and she gave him, like, the reverse knuckles, and instead of him using it, he threw them at one of the members of the Legado del Fantasma. That allows Santos to get the Phantom Driver 1, 2, 3, and he gets the win. And there's that, like, doubt that, like, either Elektra was trying to help Santos or is trying to help Quinn. We don't know yet, but, like, she doesn't seem too upset against him. Rather, she seems like more intrigued by him. So, like, you can tell the desire between the two. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe it was almost a thing teaching a lesson. Like, she still likes Zion Quinn, but this is what happens when you go against, Legado. Okay, you can still join us if you want, but you see what happens when you go against us. Like, we lure you in, we trick you, and we kick your ass in the end. But if I got to be honest, this is another feud, another thing I really don't care about at all.
No, it's not, because, like you said, like, Santos Escobar, the Legado del Fantasma was one of, like, the most consistent good things that NXT gave us week by week. Now they look so weak. That is just terrible.
I mean, to me, it was ever since the Karrion Kross feud, and then when they got just beat up and jobbed out by Hit Row every single week, they beat them into the dirt, and to me, that's where they still are.
And that's when they put the nails to the coffin. So it's gonna be they brought Elektra. That was okay, but now Elektra right away goes to use the sex appeal. Use, like, and that's not how you should use Elektra. Elektra should have been a source, a weapon to win stuff. They're not doing that. They're focusing on her more rather than the other guys with Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah.
So Not the way that we would like to be, for them. So also Carmelo Hayes was talking about to Malcolm Bivens just because, hey, you say that like Roderick Strong is like the A-list champion or like the best champion here. I'm the one. So we'll see. So like you see in between heels also there's rivalries, there's storylines going. I think that like Carmelo Hayes, yeah, they're putting a lot of money on him. We'll see, but I don't know Roderick Strong though. There's a lot of also reports that the NXT, the Cruiserweight Championship might be taken off, maybe just because it doesn't generate anything. So we'll see what happens, Paul. And tell me a little bit about Johnny Gargano's send-off. Did we believe was he going to leave or no?
I mean, this promo was great. We saw something where there was a little bit of a footage taken, after War Games where he said, he didn't sign anything with nobody. It's not like, oh, I talked to anybody else or I'm doing something, but he said he's beat up and he wants to take some time off, think whatever. His daughter is going to be born in 3 months or so, or his son, excuse me. And, he wants to focus on that. So he said he would address the universe, the NXT crowd, the WWE universe, whatever you want to call it. He would address them tonight. And I mean, this promo was great. He said, I didn't think about anything I wanted to say because I wanted it to be real. We thanked the fans. They thanked him. Again, like you pointed out at War Games, the old music, the old Johnny wrestling, everything, it was badass. It was great. And, he said, I wish I would have appreciated this 6 years more, because, you don't think about it at the time. And he went through when they said, oh, you're too small. You're too bullshit. We don't want you. He had the match with Apollo Crews. The crowd loved him because they knew who he was from the Indies. And, they kept bringing him back. He got a contract. Thanked everybody there. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Matt Bloom, the strength conditioning coach, people, everybody in the back, the unnamed heroes, everything. And this was good. He kept, speaking from the heart. He said, I got to focus on, again, being a dad. And they were like, oh, baby, wrestling or whatever. And he's like, oh, my son he'll love this when he's older and stuff. So, I mean, it was good and you felt awesome. And this promo, I don't know how you felt, but it's like, if he does leave, it is kind of sad. Not because it's like, oh, we'll never see him again. He'll just wrestle on Wednesdays. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not that. Yeah. The thing that sucks is when you put so much time and effort and love into NXT, the vision that Triple H and all of them had, and then that just gets taken away and crumbled and destroyed. It's like if you built a mighty statue and then one day you came to look at it and a wrecking ball just destroyed it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what the hell? What was the point? Like he said, he probably wished he would have appreciated it more because it's not here anymore. The thing
that's the thing, yes.
So that's why you kind of felt for the guy, and that's what you had the emotional attachment. You go, okay, you feel for this guy, and this was great. He's cutting this awesome promo. You're listening to every word he says. Then you hear the camera angles kind of shot weird, and you hear the crowd making noise, and you're like, what the hell? Boom! Grayson Waller, of all people, attacks him. And as soon as Grayson Waller started beating him up, my immediate thought is Ciampa is going to come out, kick this guy's ass. We see him do this with the chair. Okay, well, Ciampa's got to come out after this, right? No, he yells at Vic Joseph, oh, that's your boy, right? That's your boy. Picks up Gargano, power bombs him through the table. I'm thinking, well, if Ciampa didn't come out after the power bomb, he ain't coming out. So, or before the power bomb, he's not coming out. So he didn't come out. Grayson Waller pretty much says, this is his NXT now as the show goes off the air. So, that's the way you want to do it. Imagine that this is the only thing I want to say, and then you can take the floor, then I'm done. I was the wrong way to do it because it was the wrong guy. This got great heat because the crowd was loving and hanging on all of Gargano's words. But if this would have been an LA Knight or a Pete Dunne, even though we just saw Pete Dunne, so I don't know if we know that, but if this would have been somebody who we actually care about, that's a legitimate heel, that we, we hate him already. Like, imagine if this was like an MJF, if he was on this show and that was him.
It would have been.
That would have been, somebody who we want. Nobody cares that Grayson Waller has heat. It's just like, dude, you ruined this moment. You're an asshole. It's not like, we want to see you get beat up. It's just, dude, you're an asshole.
It can get better, because you just try with somebody new. Some people might what do you do with it? Because that was the first step. That was the first pass, is what do you do with the ball now? But, like you said, he said in the promo, it's like, my future is up in the air. So, he might resign. He might he might be called up to the main roster. Yeah. I don't know yet.
If Johnny Gargano has a match, if he comes back in 2 weeks or whatever, has a match against Waller, kicks his ass, and then rides off into the sunset for a little bit, or goes wherever, does whatever he wants to do, that's fine. But if this is the last we see of Johnny Gargano in NXT or WWE at all, how shitty is that?
Oh yeah, it's not that. So exactly. I don't think that they're gonna go there like that. Probably like a match on New Year's Eve. Probably that will be the send off.
I mean, the same thing with Kyle O'Reilly and all those other guys, but you know how WWE
or maybe,
is.
or like you said, he did the job. He's how they're supposed to leave, or maybe they leave the door open. Hey, go wrestle for Wednesdays for a few years, and then come back and return and get it where you left it. So you never know. But I mean, it's interesting that like they did this, and I mean, Johnny Gargano might be, leaving WWE. If he leaves, he knows that it's, deep down they know. They have friends on the other side. Kevin Owens is another one that he has more deemed to like go to AEW. So we'll see. Kyle O'Reilly's probably, bro, it's calm. Hey, there's more money. At least there's more fun here than over there. So we'll see what happens, but that's the show that we have for every single one of you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give the video a like. The more people are exposed to the original Road Break, and where else can they find us?
Guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and Spotify. And of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...